population growth, economic development, and rural migration to urban areas have caused rapid expansion of urban centers in Ghana. One reason is that spatial planning, and in particular urban planning, face different social, economic, and political challenges which hinder a structured and planned urban development, therefore causing urban sprawl. The real estate industry in Ghana has witnessed a boom in recent years. Land remains the most important commodity for the housing industry, so investors in the sector have been dealing with many litigants.
One of the elements I would like to call upon the government to look into, to take action in particular, of course, for all these projects, is the land rights thing. Without guaranteed possession of land, security about land, certainty about land, simply the attraction of investment, and in particular foreign investment, remains a problem. If you are not sure about your investment, you are not going to come. So that, I think, is still a main issue. We have many problems, but I think that is still one of the main ones.
Mrs. Margaret Champong of Asimba Chambers has represented a number of clients, including CFC Construction West Africa, in court over land ownership tussles.
The CFC land was acquired by the ancestors of the present managing director of CFC in 1955. And it was a lease for 99 years, gave them documents which states clearly that he gave the land to them as head of Onamukadine family, with the consent and concurrence of the principal elders of the family. Fortunately or unfortunately, this head of family died in 1968. It was after his death, that's Dr. C. Rindov died in 1968. It was after his death that they found out that he had made a will, and in his will, he had willed this land granted to CFC Construction and Furniture Limited to his daughter and nephew. The land which did not belong to him personally, he had willed it to his daughter and nephew, which was illegal and fraudulent.
An urban geographer, Professor George Owusu of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research of the University of Ghana. He has carried out detailed economic research into Ghana's land use, planning and management systems. He tells me the whole challenge of land litigation hinges on two issues.
Because we have weak institutions, you get it? Even in the midst of plentiful, there are great tendencies, there are speculative tendencies, and people are getting more than they need, and consequently denying others access to land. Unfortunately for us in Accra, we seem to be getting what do you call it? The bad sides of these two positions I've given you. One, there's high demand for the land because of the pressure from population, migrants and others moving in. And two, we have weak institutions to deal with the land which is available. And so consequently, when you put these two factors together, what you have is the chaos you see, and consequently, you keep on, the price of land keep on going up, and consequently, you have so many people being denied access to land.
The Lands Commission has a vision to become the center of excellence for land services delivery, with the mission to provide high quality, reliable and efficient services in geographic information, guaranteed tenure, property valuation, surveying and mapping through teamwork, and modern technology to stakeholders. But this is just fine English that makes the Lands Commission look good, because the myriad of problems in Ghana's land management system is very worrying.
Now, because of the manual processes, sometimes it is difficult to detect at first, but you can find it out later, because the way we do our recording here is not just one record. Because, for instance, in registration, we have several registers that we use. Say, for example, a name register, a location register. We have a subject register. We have numbers register. So for each that one transaction has about a number of registers, which you can cross-check. Now, if someone does this type of forgery and you go, you see that there will be inconsistencies because they cannot change all the registers at the same time, even over a period of time.
They cannot?
They cannot. They cannot. You may be able to do it for one, but even the way the registers are done is difficult for you to forge because it comes in a serial form. So the first transaction could be Abosukai, the second transaction could be East Legon, the third transaction could be Labadi. So when you are forging and using the serial number of that, I mean, you will be caught.
Many families, clans, too, and government lands have either been encroached or dubiously sold by unscrupulous minds who have taken advantage of the situation.
A family sells land in Division A, goes to get endorsement from Division B. And the Lands Commission are able to get it registered. Are you following? This is not a matter of I have to go and check on the ground and all that. Clearly, this document should not go through. Are you following? It should not go through because it is highly contradictory. Because it will have an effect on reversion.
One of the things that we have, that this law provides for, is for a future systematic way of defining the boundaries of every land, of any owner of land in the country. And in such, we are in the process of having legislative instruments done to ensure that the Lands Commission provides expertise and assistance to customary authorities to demarcate the boundaries of their land. So if there are disputes, those can be resolved. Then we know that if you are buying land, this is registered in the name of Chief A or Chief B or Clan A or Clan C. And you can go to them and go and transact. In such cases, there is no difficulty about needing a land guard to protect your land. But in the urban areas, especially in the urban and peri-urban areas of Accra and Central Region, we are beginning to see this sort of activity worsening by the day because of the mutated levels of customary hierarchies.
One other region that has history of land litigation is the Volta region. The long-standing conflict between the people of Alavanyo and Nkonya has claimed many lives on both sides. People here are considered by some as flippant people fighting over barren lands. For the Nkonyas, who are considered first of the two factions to settle in the area, they are prepared to die to defend their heritage.
Even now, as we are sitting here, our minds are on something because they could come anytime. They have been coming from their place across the border to our area to fight even here. On the 21st of May this year, the warriors stood at the top of the mountain over here and they were shooting into the town. They shot and killed somebody here.
Would you be ready to let go portions of your land
so that
to ensure peace?
So that the court ruling should be obliterated. I cannot do that. Yes, if you need something from me, you can come to me and ask me. We will not compromise with it. What was put there must be there.
The Alavanyos, on the other hand, accept the fact that the Nkonyans are the original settlers, but have a rather interesting story to tell on why they jealously defend the once hostile territory bequeathed to them by the Nkonyans.
Since their migration from Nwache in Togo, they have never lived by any big river. And so he feared his people might get drowned in the river, so they will not settle over there. Then he said towards the east, no one lives here because there are very wild animals in the area. So Togbeto told him, if it's wild animals, then he's okay with it. He could live in a place.
He's better off with wild animals than the river.
So they came to the area. In the long run, they found that the wild animals were not actually wild animals. They were human beings clothed in the skins of wild animals. The Alavanyo people said, if it's wild animals, we don't have problem, we will stay there. Then they joined some of the Nkonya people on their farms, but the Alavanyo people hid in the bush. And when the wild animals emerged again from the bush,
wild animals
emerged from the bush, the Alavanyos managed to pounce on those wild animals.
The Western region used to be largely peaceful until 2007, when the country discovered oil in commercial quantities. The discovery of oil in commercial quantity and the subsequent production thereon has added value to lands in the Western region. Landowners who use their land for agricultural purposes have now leased out to multinational oil and gas services providers.
After the discovery, 2 years before the production of oil in commercial quantity in the Jubilee field, we had this high interest of people coming to Ahanta trying to look for properties over here, and which basically has amounted to the current development, the expansion, the explosion of houses that you can find within the Ahanta area as well. $94,000 per acre, which is the one on the main road. You know, we have the main Trans-West African Highway, which is passing through the Aketinche Stuland on both sides.
$95,000
per acre.
Per acre.
Yes.
The weak and vulnerable who do not have the financial muscle to engage in a legal tussle are the ones bearing the brunt of the indiscriminate sale of lands. In Ghana's hierarchical chieftaincy system, chiefs are the custodians of ancestral community lands, culture, customary laws, and traditions which include history. Chiefs have the responsibility to hold the land in trust for generations unborn. The outspoken regent of Aketinche is one chief who has had a lot of issues with the regional land administration in the Western region.
What I realized was ignorance. Actually, I saw a lot of ignorance in the Lands Commission itself, because sometimes you have a problem where the Lands Commission is writing you a letter based on an issue or which affects maybe chieftaincy matters, and then will refer to a person of a particular family of a particular stool, and then on the same land will then also say so of Aketinche stool. Yeah. So the understanding between what family land means and what stool land means needs to be, clarified for employees of the Lands Commission, because that is where the problem is.
Regent of Aketinche would not only point to the Land Commission as the major cause of the problems in land management. He is convinced that the political establishment contributes to the mess by weakening the chieftaincy institution.
From 1900s to especially 1940s, 1950s, right up to the 1960s, there were several land leases or farm leases that were legally signed and registered at the Lands Commission. How come today, 60 years after independence, the Lands Commission is entertaining families, within our area to own lands which are traditionally stool lands? This is the problem that we have in this country, that those who are put there under our system to uphold the law abuse the law And they create their own laws. The sad thing that I am seeing at the moment is, first of all, you know, the way the chieftaincy institution itself has been brought down by the political establishment of this country. I'm saying so because before independence, there was none who fought for independence, you know, whose finance and, you know, helped the previous politicians to get where they had to get.
The disposal of farmlands to multinational companies to be converted into service companies has been described by Professor George Owusu of ISE as a dangerous trend that must be curtailed.
In the western region and some of these areas where lands are being acquired, and in many cases, these are individuals who are thrown out of the farming livelihood and they have no other alternative. The only livelihood that they know is their farming. And so if they lose that, it's a big problem. And it's not only that, but also what I see with the destruction of huge chunk of agricultural land as a result of galamsey, the consequences are really going to be very difficult for many people who lose that sort of their land, because for them, the land is all that they have.
Kumasi, the capital of the Ashanti Kingdom, is considered by many as the region with the best organized chieftaincy institution in the country. It is expected that administering over lands in the Ashanti region is carried out with little controversy. Sadly though, that is not the case. Land management in the region comes with its own problems. The Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II in July 2017 sacked the secretary of the Land Secretariat at Menchia Palace for illegally disposing of portion of the stool land to a private developer. Then in the same month of July, Nana Kofi Adade, aka Nana Solo, Otumfuo Osei II's Palanquin chief, was attacked with cutlasses and guns at Tabre in the Kimanwa-Beja district of the Ashanti region. Narrating the incident to me at his palace in Tabre, Nana Adade said he and some elders of the community were attacked by thugs hired by one Mensa Bonsu, who claimed to exercise jurisdiction over the contentious land following a fraudulent sale.
Otumfuo ama kwan sɛ yemetwa asase no me di omu ema me enti eno na ye kwa akoto hye a ablante bi de Mensa Bonsu ema landguard fo bi hye a omotwetwa yeseka tututu nyina.
I am the Palanquin chief of Otumfuo Osei II. His Majesty gave me permission to visit the site with a group he had instructed to demarcate the land. Whilst on the land, we were ambushed by landguards who came in the company of a self-styled chief, Osei Bonsu.
Mensa Bonsu no na open tensra kuna ana Otumfuo say ene amo ho sema a woye to trust mo ye ntisa akunya na woni fie kura nya de say ode be ma no ba fine no pro de be ma no pam no enti obe pam so frɛ atmanwa beja empayinfo district wo nyina say wode ne din nam so woye wo hene onye wo hene o man degree bia wa Asante memra.
I sustained cutlass wounds on my ankle and my head in the process. Otumfuo has publicly stated that Osei Bonsu is not a royal. It is therefore surprising that he carries himself as one.
It is a odo didi so a asoro na ye ode ase na ye ohene na asase wote so. E de ento atete a o percentage no de ma. No no so afa na de na kuro no so ama kuro ni.
Clause 3 of Article 267 of the Constitution states that
there shall be no disposition of any stool land unless the Lands Commission within the region within which the land is situated has certified that the disposition or development is consistent with the development plan drawn up or approved by the planning authority of the area concerned.
This particular provision in the law has been flouted by a good number of people in all 10 regions of the country. Multinational and local companies have, in most cases, succeeded in buying their way out to put up facilities illegally. That, according to the regent of Akitinchie, David Nicholse, only gives credence to perception of corruption in the public land administration system.
The Lands Commission have no mandate under the law to dispose of school properties. They have no mandate. And then I don't want to talk, but I have had my share of exchanges with them. And I have always made my point to the extent that somebody can even tell you that, yeah, we can use this article and use this article. Any document you bring here will not sign. They should try it and see.
The system just doesn't work. I mean, you have to go through the frustration and pay your way out of the frustration.
Yayo, as I decide to call him for the purposes of this documentary, spoke to me on the condition of anonymity. The private developer laments how some top directors at the Lands Commission forced him to cough up over 150,000 Ghana cedis in bribe before registering a 60-acre land he legitimately acquired.
I approached the commission with my indentures. Like, look, I want to register this property. I did my application and I got the receipts. Now, here comes the delay, and I keep calling to follow up, and nothing is happening. So I have to get someone in there who can assist me with the follow-ups. And the guy was like, okay, if I can do this for you, I'm taking, give me 25,000 Ghana cedi. I'll do the entire follow-up for you.
25,000 Ghana cedis.
That's just the beginning. Wow. I'll do the entire follow-up for you. So what choice do I have? I mean, I have a project coming up, and here I am being held by a government department that is supposed to be backing my business, giving me the support I need as an entrepreneur.
Family lands are also having their fair share of the chaos in the country's land management system. Mankrado of the Pram Pram traditional area and former Greater Accra Lands Commission Chairman Nene Atri Benta III laments how family members have taken advantage of the current law to indiscriminately dispose of lands in the Ningo Pram Pram enclave.
Even where the head of family is there and the rest of the family are not receiving their due share, they also get up to say, we are all members of the family and the land belongs to us, not only for the head of family. And so the other people also click together, goes into the land, and where the head of family has even leased the house with the land to another person, this rest of the family members also goes into it.
Almost everyone engaged in some land dispute or another employs the services of land guards, even politicians.
The government is trying to stop the land guard, but it's not going to be easy. You understand? They are fighting us, we are fighting them. We know what you are doing. For me, I believe I'm not doing anything negative. You understand?
But that's the perception out there, that you guys are bad people.
We are not bad people.
Bluntly.
We are not bad people.
Iwan has a point here. You want to add to it?
Yeah, I want to add what you just make a point. We are not the bad people, but you know, at times the big politicians, they know the law more than us. But even then, when they come side, they use language.
This is a serious allegation.
No, it's not allegation.
You don't have a proof.
No, it's not allegation. You don't know what I'm saying. Even them, the big politicians in Ghana, right now, they use language. Because without land guard, you cannot fight. You cannot fight to protect your land.
Wow.
The police who just came in after 2 to 10 minutes, they just left. The land guard will be there
24/7.
24/7. That is his work.
the impunity is occasionally extended to government land. The case in point is a huge tract of government land at Kuntunse in the Ganwes municipality, where the country's radio astronomy facility under the Ghana Space and Technology Institute under the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, encroachers have in recent times trespassed and are inching closer to the second radio astronomy facility in Africa, threatening the country's moves to conduct research.
This is a radio astronomy facility, and we are receiving radiations in the radio frequency. Yet, the signals that we're receiving are very weak. So if we even compare with the radiations coming from phones and things like that, this can't stand. So actually, this is not a plus for the project.
Why is that? If the land belongs to the state, why do we still have individuals, encroaching?
But you are in Ghana, so you know the canker of encroachment, especially when it is for the government.
The accusation and counter-accusations over who is to blame for the chaos in the country's land management system might not end today. There is need to sanitize the system immediately to promote national development.